Hey guys, so today's video is about cleaning and rebuilding an RX 135 engine. So as you can see, a lot of cleaning is involved and then we're going to rebuild it. So hope you enjoy the video and please like, share and subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you. So once this is cleaned properly, then all this gasket material needs to be removed. You have to do the cleaning before you install any oil seals or if before you install any bearings, because otherwise what is going to happen is this is going to uh, get inside the bearings and cause further problems. So I'm just going to scrape it off like this, and then using a wire brush I will remove it further. A wire brush is little easier than just scraping it, so I'll use that. So I'll put you guys on a time lapse. I'll clean both these side covers and then probably will talk again. So that's one side cleaned, one more side to go. So make it as clean as possible. After all this I'll just rinse it in kerosene so that all this loose dust gets taken away. So what I did is I already got the crank fixed in this so that we can finish the bike, because it needs to be pressed into place. So yep, this is extremely clean. As you can see, there's just small amount of dust which is not a major problem. I wish I had invested in a compressor so that I could just simply blow all that dust off. Now we need to fix the bearings. So that idiot has given me just one bearing. I asked him to give me two, so I'll have to reuse one of the bearings. There are two of them. So this one is running a little rough, so I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this bearing. Installing a bearing is nothing difficult. So I'm going to press this bearing into place, but while I do it, you need to notice the change in the sound once it gets heated. So now I'm going to hit it. See, there is a difference in sound. Now see, once it is heated, this is the sound that you get. Now it's time for the next bearing. It's the main shaft bearing. Actually these bearings don't have a direction, so you can basically put them in any direction. There are two things that I do while installing a bearing. First, I clean the surface, then I apply a little bit of grease. It's just a little bit, not too much. I just dab it over so that it can just slide into place properly. Instead of hitting it with a tool, if you have your old bearings lying around, use those to hit it. place the old bearing on top of the new bearing, then hit it. Just notice the change in the sound once it is seated. Okay, so now you should be hearing a different sound. So the bearing is seated properly. Now this side bearings are complete. Now let's focus on the other side. So we'll install this tiny bearing first. So yeah, that bearing is seated. Let's get to the oil seals. So there is our oil seal packet. Plus I have some extra from my previous builds. You have to be very careful. You cannot go ahead and install it beyond a certain point. It has to be flush with the outer surface. If it is too much in, that won't let the bearing to spin freely. If it is too much out, it won't do any sealing. And these oil seals are very important, because otherwise if they're not fixed properly, and there is a good chance that it might get into the combustion chamber. So I'm going to install the rest of the oil seals as well. So a dab of grease. So that's almost flush. So this is where the clutch plunger comes out of. This is one of the major source of leaks in an RX, so be extra conscious while you're putting this. Yeah, if you see, they have already used a lot of Fana bond on this, so just gently tap it in. So that is also seated. Now let's fit the gearbox. before I'm going to close it completely, I just want to place it and see if
The trick is to leave a thin bead. Once it fits properly, it will displace all the excess and only a thin layer will remove. There are some people who believe in putting a gasket in, but that's not how the factory designed the RX engine to be, so there is no point putting a gasket in there.
now the moment of truth. Okay, so this is the moment wherein we torque all the screws.
So you don't have to remember where which screw goes where, but when you put the screw, it should be out by this much. If it is a little bit more out, that means you have the wrong screw. Okay, so I don't use power tools for this, but because if it tightens a lot, it will strip the wax, so I'm just making sure those screws are seated. Always remember, you can use them crisscross manner. So now, you're going to torque it. Since I do not have a torque wrench, I'm going to hand torque most of these bolts. I already have a lot of tools for somebody who does this on personal bikes as a hobby. But we all know there is nothing called too much, so getting a good torque wrench is on my list next.
Okay, so in between my camera lost power and I had to do a couple of things off camera.
This is what happens when you're filming and trying to build an engine. End up forgetting a lot of
install this little piece. Now the clutch washer. Okay, so before I install the clutch, let me go ahead and install the idle wheel. The problem with this lock is if you put a little bit more pressure, it ends up shaping out like what just happened. Since I have two engines here, so I'll take it from the other one. There you go. Okay. See, I actually, this one belongs to the 4-speed and this one belongs to the 5-speed. If you see, it has same primary gear, and there is absolutely no difference between the two. But since this is a 5-speed engine, I'm going to be true to it and I'm going to install everything 5-speed on it. Okay, so officially the clutch is in. There is one washer that needs to go here. This is on. Now goes the pressure plate. Okay, so I'm going to install this one. Okay, I'll tighten both of this once I install the magnet. Okay, while you're installing the ignition coil, make sure this grommet fits perfectly, and then this needs to be routed through this. This needs to go here. Okay, one is this one.
So this is not the original screw that came with it. I just want to see if the length matches, then I'll change the other one as well. Okay, fix it. So let me just fix it. Anyways, I have to take this out because the ignition on this is not the stock ignition, so I have to do a timing advance. So in this video, I mean not this one, but in the series, we'll also cover how to do a different ignition, one which is extremely popular in the market. That's it.
So the Woodruff key just wipe this. So this goes into this slot. So this is the 5-speed magnet. Make sure this there is a small cut here that needs to align with the Woodruff key. Okay, so now the magnet is in. So yeah, so first you put this washer, then you put the spring washer, then you look at this. There is a slightly curved edge, so that should come up. Just hand crank it first, and then okay, so that is one tight magnet. Now lock it and we'll tighten the crank and the clutch on the other side. Okay, so the crank is tight. Okay, so that is the clutch basket holder. That is as tight as it can get. Let's put the clutch plates. So it is just simple. You put one clutch plate.
The steel plate is a little different. If you see, one edge is flat and the other edge is curved, so the curved edge should come up. You can put it in any configuration, but make sure the curved edge is up. Ideally, before you put the clutch plate, you're supposed to put the kicker ratchet, because it is not very easy to install it, but it's a little tough, but you can still install it. So let me go ahead and show you how. So those are all the clutch plates.
So yeah, don't forget to install the plunger. Once it is installed, this can sit only in one way. Okay, so you just look at it. If it is like sitting too much out, then you change the holes and make it sit a bit more flush. Otherwise you will hear the clutch knock.
The out would have been nice and awesome, but I don't know where is the bit. I might have to look, which I'm not very comfortable in. So let's just tighten these suckers. You just hand tight it. Don't tight it too much, because otherwise it won't do what it is supposed to do. So just hand tight it.
Okay, so this is interesting and I want you to focus a bit. So this part slides here, this lock goes here, and this spring goes here. So this is how it goes. Let me put the spring first. So yeah, so this side is complete. That side is complete as well. Only thing we need to complete is put the cylinder on. We'll install the cylinder tomorrow.